in Queens on the a lot of good second round series in his NHL, plus a game 7 tonight. And Mr. Sean is a great hockey fan, says hello. Sean, good afternoon. How are you today, pal?
Dog, I'm great. Before I talk hockey, I have to weigh in on this FAN thing with you. Listen, I'm not the first one to say it, but I think Mike looks terrible. I have not listened to him much really in the last 5 or 7 years, but when you have a year plus of fanfare and goodbyes and shows with celebrities at CW Post and, 2 shows giving you a send-off and all this hoopla, and then you come back after 4 months, I think you look bad. I think the station is a mess right now. You got Boomer and Giannotti, saying bad things about Mike in the morning and expressing their displeasure. I know the other people took the high road, but Mike's going to go in there, and listen, not that me and you were there or anyone else, but as far as a working environment goes, it's probably going to be a terrible working environment there, at least in the beginning. I think one thing that cannot happen is the way Mike is coming back. If he comes back and loses the K in the ratings, he's going to look really bad.
I think there's pressure on him. I agree. You're going to have to win. And I think that, Kay's got pressure on him, too. Kay's got to win as well. I know that ESPN, they want to puff up their chest about winning a couple weeks. How about ESPN? They got FAN in a complete disarray right now. How about ESPN going out there and winning a ratings war? They got a good signal. They got the Jets. They got plenty of people on there who know what they're doing. Kay does the Yankee games, so everybody's got a lot of exposure. They need to win too. So I agree with you. I understand. I get your point. They need to. I get that. Mike needs to win, but so does Kay. You got to be fair too, there, Sean. So does Kay. It's important.
Yeah, I know. Well, I think he did just win in the winter book. But anyway, be that as it may, the hockey dog, before I get to the second round, I think the scheduling thing that you'd be interested in is I believe, and I don't know this for a fact, but I believe that if Toronto wins tonight, you will see Leafs Lightning at 8 o'clock on Saturday night if NBC is doing a Saturday night game, which I believe they are. And and if the Bruins win tonight, you will see Penguins Flyers. The reason being is I am almost 100% sure that contractually on a Saturday the Leafs have to play. In the regular season, the Leafs have to play at 7 p.m. if they are playing on a Saturday. Now, obviously, the game would be 8 o'clock on NBC. So I'm sure.
Interesting. I didn't know that. I'll tell you the thing that bothers me. How dumb could the NBA be to schedule the Raptors tonight when they know the Leafs are playing a game? They know there's a good possibility, and the whole world knew it. So they can't sit there and say that they were shocked by the Leafs. They knew the Leafs and Bruins game 7, which came out prior to the Raptors schedule, was scheduled for tonight in Boston, game 7 at 7 o'clock. How dumb can you be to schedule the Raptors in game 5 at home? That is a hockey nation. They're the New York Yankees of Canada, the Leafs. The Raptors got a nice little piece. They got a nice little niche going. Nobody's going to knock that. But they are a fart in the wind compared to Leaf hockey. How could the NBA sit there and do that to the Toronto sports fan and the Raptor fan by putting the Leafs on game 7 and putting the Raptors right up against it? Is that the dumbest thing you ever seen in your life?
It is. I'd love to know what the Canadian rating is tomorrow, tonight for the Raptors game. Dog, as far as the second round goes, it usually does not always dictate how good a series is going to be, but I sometimes I look to see in a series what if there's a series where both teams, quote unquote, have to win the series. The first round, I really only came up with 2. I thought Columbus had to win the series, and I thought the Caps had to win the series. And then the other series where I thought was 2 musts, but both teams had to win the series. I thought Minnesota had to win the series, and I thought Winnipeg had to win the series.
Yeah, because Winnipeg hasn't won a series, and Bujo always loses in the first round. I understand.
This round, I don't see a series where both teams have to.
I think the Caps. You're right. Well, Pittsburgh doesn't have to win. Caps have to win. Caps have to win.
That's correct, and I think. I just want to talk about the Winnipeg Nashville series, dog. I'm pulling for Nashville. I love this series. I told you before the playoffs started that if we got this in round 2, it would be a treat. I'm going to Nashville in 3 weeks with my wife, so God willing, the Preds are still around, and I'd love to be able to go to a home Predator playoff game. So I need the Preds to win this series as far as if that's going to happen. But I don't like how the Preds played the first round. I don't like that it took until Game 6 for me to see a dominant performance out of them. However, I just don't know if that is just something that will help them, that they were pushed by Colorado, or that they're off their game. Because conversely, I loved how Winnipeg played. I know they played a banged-up Wild team, but they dominated. It seemed like they had the puck 58 out of every 60 seconds of every game in that series. I think it's going to be a high-scoring series. I'm not saying you're not going to see defense, but I think they will go up and down. And it'll, listen, it's not like this statement is I'm a brain surgeon by saying it, but it's probably going to come down to who lets in the least amount of goals, Hellebuck or Rene. Because I think it's going to be a dynamite series.
I think so.
Would not be surprised if Winnipeg won it, but I think it'll go 7.
I agree with you 100%. I think the second round in the NHL is superb. 18 in front of the hour. Back here on Mad Dog.